Hello guys, and welcome to my review of the Silenced Spector weapon that we have gotten with the 4.0 Blockbuster update of the game. The Silenced Spector is the new assault rifle that has come with the game. You can find it in the Blockbuster llamas, and this here is how the one I am testing out during this review is looking. It is an energy damage based faster reload, faster damage weapon. So what does that really mean? Well, it allowed me to relatively easily compare the Silenced Spector to another one of my favorite weapons, not because this is like a super crazy strong weapon, because it gets me through the night pretty much, or it gives me a running start, as Ramirez puts it. I am of course talking about the Nocturno, that offers a pretty good reference point in regards to comparison of relatively fast firing assault weapons, because that is what we have in the Silenced Spector here as well. I have others of them, and as you can see I have one here with nature damage and a deep load of additional damage rolls on it, which really means that looking into the Silenced Spector is a bit more difficult because it is very perk dependent. What we can say about it is that it is a low impact weapon. It has a relatively short range, but it has a very fast fire rate. And of course what you have in terms of hit chance, damage, critical hit damage, headshot damage, all that stuff really depends on the rolls that you have on the weapon. So just as with many other weapons, the Seabreaker for instance, you can't really say whether this is a good or bad weapon as itself, because it is extremely perk dependent. Comparing it with a Nocturno here, also Obsidian at 106, both dealing energy damage, what we can see is that the Silenced Spector, it deals less damage per bullet, it has a lower DPS, again based on the perks on the weapon. So the things that we can look into are things such as the fire rate. It fires faster than the Nocturno, absolutely. So that is a thing, and that is without having fire rate perks on my Silenced Spector. And besides that, it has a shorter range, and that, even though it may not really seem as an important thing, is really important for how you use it and how you benefit from the weapon in the game. The 3584 range on this weapon here translates into something that we can understand a little bit more, in that you can shoot around 10 tiles with this weapon while still dealing damage with it. But in terms of actual damage, I think of the Silenced Spector pretty much as one of those urban assault type of weapons that you want to be using within 1, 2, possibly 3 tiles in order to really have fun with it, which means this is definitely not a sniper. It is not something where you want to be attacking things at a very far distance, because the damage reduction related to distance is just too great when you're using a weapon with such a short range. Comparing things a little bit here in what I like to do, like down to earth testing, is I'm just going to be shooting a wall, and then we can get a bit of a comparison showcasing of the amount of damage you deal at different ranges with the Silenced Spector. And this is important in relation to something such as the Nocturno, for instance, that has a 500 additional range increase on it. At point blank range, we deal 58 points of damage to a wall with the Silenced Spector, and moving 1 tile backwards, still staying within the first tile, gives us the same 54 damage on the next tile, so that's down to 90% damage, and 80% damage with 37 damage at the next tile. So already here at 3 tiles distance, we're dealing just a little more than half damage, and as we move to a 4 tile distance, we are dealing below 50% of the weapon damage to a wall. So what that really means is that if you're going to be attacking with your Silenced Spector at ranges such as this, you're going to be dealing a much less amount of damage than what you would be dealing with a weapon that had a longer range. So the range on weapons is not just about how far can you hit something, it is also important in relation to when do you deal less damage with the actual weapon. At 10 tiles we're down to dealing 5% damage, and of course it doesn't really matter if you have a super high crazy weapon damage on your rolls. Even at 10 tiles distance, due to the range, you will be dealing close to no damage whatsoever. So what can I really say about the Silenced Spector? Is this a weapon that you should be buying? Should you be aiming for it in the game? At my default thing, I think the Silenced Spector is a very interesting weapon. The rapid fire on it, the minimal recoil and fast aim recovery means that you can focus on a target and keep spraying them in the face for a very long time, dealing crazy damage. But this is a weapon that you want to be using at a very short distance. An important thing is, because this is a perk dependent weapon that we can get in the current llamas, means that you can try to actively farm to get these different elemental weapons I have now with nature and with energy damage, meaning that I still need water and fire weapons for me to complete my Silent Spector collection. But I do have my other weapons that have other elements, which means that if you want to be going for a Silent Spector, try to find one that has an element on it that you need in your assault weapon collection for close combat. That was what I had to share in this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, thank you very much for watching.